have gathered together separately at our places for this discussion, a panel discussion on the topic maintaining law and order in this COVID-19. As we know that we are under a lockdown, it's going to be almost a month. Fine. So we have seen these police authorities on the roads from day to night, and we have seen the other public authorities. They are trying to maintain law and order. Being law students, and you know that it is very important for any state agency to maintain law and order in any condition, even if it is not a lockdown. It is very important to maintain law and order. How far do you think it has become more important and little bit more difficult for public authorities, for police, for other agencies to maintain law and order right now? I'd like over to you guys now. I'll ask anybody of you to start. Yes, Hemant, you can start with it.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. See, before we address any of the points that you raised, we must understand that the the size of the situation, the problem, this is something which the entire human race has never faced before. None of us, nobody, there are no books, there are no experiences, there's nothing like that available which tells us how to address something this huge, this big. And that is why our entire system is under tremendous stress. It becomes more complicated when you know that the 95% of our population cannot contribute in any which way except for staying at home, and rest of the 5% of the population has to manage everybody. So be it law and order situation, medical facilities, essential supplies, or day-to-day needs, whatever you even have to run a government, so that nothing gets out of hand. So I believe, just because we are not, the size is huge, and it's very easy to lock down a particular city or a mohalla or a state or even for a country for few days. But this catastrophe has affected everybody around the globe, and that is why it makes it a very unique problem. And and that is why it becomes very important. And if you see all around the globe, so wherever people are participating voluntarily in enforcing law and order, are complying with the guidelines issued by their respective governments, including in India, they are in a much better situation vis-a-vis people where you see people are not voluntarily participating it. So I would suggest that the key here is the volunteerism. As long as we, as a race, as a citizen, as social animals, do not understand that this is not something which is affecting my neighbor or my or some other country, it is affecting me. Even when my neighbor is affected, I'll get affected automatically. It will not get resolved. So I think voluntary participation is the key here. Whether, and we cannot have a right law and order machinery working properly till the time we have people participating, cooperating voluntarily into it.
I agree to your point that people are participating voluntarily, people are staying home with their own wish, fine. But we have still seen many incidents that people are becoming agitated. Violence is coming out. People are like, the crime rate was going much low, but in last few days, we have seen many incidents. Fine, I'll specifically the Patiala incident to mention, then the Muradabad incident, many more incidents. Why there has been so much? Why? What do you think? What is the reason people are agitated now? And what are your viewpoints on this? Yes, Nandana, if you can talk about it.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. According to me, there are mainly few reasons about it. So, the one from is, as above said, sir said about it, it is the largest lockdown ever experienced by the human race. The another one is the Indians are generally not are very law compliant peoples, and the third one is, according to me, poor and the people who are low incomes are more worried and suffering anxiety. And the fourth and the least, according to me, and the people facing supplying issues, and they are facing food problems. So as I above mentioned that this is a most largest lockdown ever experienced by the human race, so they are not mentally prepared about it. They are not mentally prepared themselves. So somewhere they are feeling some problem, they are feeling anxiety, they are suffering anxiety. So the more anxiety feeling by suffering by the persons who are poor, or the who those have less incomes. So the poor and the person who have less incomes or low salaries are worried about their futures, that if they lose their jobs, or so what they will do next, from what they will earn, or they are worried about their food, or so
I
these are the main causes.
fine, and I agree that you say that people are worried. Fine, that
Ma'am, I
there
would
is.
like to add something to what Nandana said. See,
Mhm.
in situation like these, it is very, very normal for people to get anxious.
Right.
Insecurity is something which creeps in. Now, it is very easy for people, those who have resources and means, to stay calm and stay inside their homes. They have decent savings. People, they live in good places, and it's easier for them to manage this. But people, those who earn on a day-to-day basis, are daily wagers or have very low level of savings, they become very, very anxious. So that is where you see a lot of problem. They
See,
get
I
frustrated, they
agree
don't see
to
a future, and then they try
you.
to get out of house, and it's more about anxiety, which out of anxiousness. Secondly,
Hmm.
one more important thing is, you know each of these mass scale protests, whether it's Bombay or Muradabad or Patiala or some other part of places, are very different in their own regard. They are not linked with each other. Typical Patiala was a very different flavor. Muradabad,
Right.
what happened, had a very different reason. Bombay
Hmm.
was more of a labor unrest, which was
Yes.
provoked.
Right.
But yes, the reason is that people are very anxious. They feel unsafe and then they feel unsecure.
Yes. Now I agree to you. We have a population that is, we have I'll say a portion of a population that is below poverty line. Fine. They
Right.
are daily wages, they are hand to mouth. But still,
Hmm.
does it at this point of time, their act of coming out, getting together, agitating, I'll say throwing stones at the police officials or anybody, fine, is that justified? Aren't they, in your viewpoint, aren't they risking not their own lives, but also the life of other people who are staying home for us, who are staying home for themselves? Do you think that this act is justified? Yes, this Chaman, over to you now.
Yes, ma'am. It's a really understandable thing that the people who came out on the roads because they are unemployed with lockdown, they were earning rest of their life with a daily basis, but now they are staying home and they are not going at their jobs. And it's a understandable thing that this lockdown is not for any one person. This is for the whole country, for the benefit of whole country. Our governments are also trying to provide food or any other essential things that are need to for them.
Okay, fine. Now, I'll say we have discussed that yes, people need to stay home, people need to stay strong and everything. But now coming to another aspect, we have seen these police officials crossing the line, right? They have been rude with the people, as Hemant said and
Yeah,
Nandana said, that people in India are not law abiding. Fine, until unless
Generally.
they are put in a fear, they will never abide law. We have seen in our cities also that people try to step out and do everything. But do you think anywhere that police authorities or the state has failed somewhere in maintaining this law and order? Kiran, we have just joined. What are your views? Has these authorities failed somewhere?
In last we have seen that in case of Maharashtra, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people gathered in a railway station where police officers doesn't and responsible. they can't responsible at the time, uh, where we can see there is a lack of law and order to maintaining. Uh, in also in case of Jamal, uh, so many people were gathered, and they were also a reason to increase the number of cases in a coronavirus. We can see many of people were coming foreign countries where government can control it. When government know about it, कि, coronavirus can virus has already in foreign countries. Why they can't stop these people in airport? Why they can't check? At that time, we can see that the government are also responsible to maintaining the law and order.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am, I
I
would, sorry, can I say something here?
yes, yes, sure, sure, Hemant.
Yeah. So there are two things, one, what Chaman said, why people are not staying home and can, 2% or 3% of a population hijack the entire country where everybody is complying. See, I would just want to say one very simple thing. A lot of people are afraid that, their income will go down and how will they earn and how will they feed their family. This is right. I will not say this is not, this is incorrect. But, try and understand, our leaders, our social influencers, people around us, they need to explain them one very simple thing. No country can have economic development where the entire nation is under the attack of a pandemic. So
Right.
even if we open some areas, we allow them to go to factories and work, and something goes wrong, who will produce? Who will sell? Who will buy it? So economic development is not possible in a country which has fallen sick. So unless and until we are healthy, no practical economic development, economic progression can take place. Secondly, to what Kiran said, this was about, somewhere do we feel that law and order agencies are not doing their job, the way they should have done, or are they very effective? See, I will again, I'll explain this in 2 points. One, law and order agencies are not somebody they have, come from planet Mars. They are people like you and me. Whatever is your experience, you are right now teaching, taking classes, sitting at home, in whatever resources you are doing. You were never trained to do this. You were trained to go to university, take classes, discuss and stuff like that. Similarly, doctors, they had, they understand medicine, but tackling something of this size was nobody ever comprehended. So
Right.
all I'm saying, and second thing is, police is a link between people they have to manage and the orders they get from the political, superiors, be the
Right,
state
right.
government or the central government. And ultimately, the problem that we are facing today is not something like a revolt or or somebody is murdering somebody or some. They have to handle it with a lot of sympathy because people are falling sick. So you just can't shoot at them. You can't lathi charge unless until it is very, very necessary. So I would say that law and order agencies within the given resources, looking at the kind of, the scale of the problem, they are doing a fairly good job. Yes, there's always scope for improvement. There's always scope for doing something better. But largely, I would say in all the states, union territories, central government, state governments are cooperating. The kind of cooperation I'm seeing between center and states, I have never seen it before.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you, Hemant. So it was really good to hear to all the viewpoints. Now I'll request Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur to conclude this session. Ma'am, please, you can conclude this session.
Yes, there is no doubt that India is facing economic and social crisis, right? So it's a duty of the government to take and to provide the basic necessities to the needy people. But the thing is this, that should not be covered by the human rights violations. And on the other hand, I just want to conclude that it's a duty of the public as well that they should maintain law and order, right? And second one, I just want to add one more thing that yesterday I was reading the newspaper in which I was watching one poster in which was mentioned that corona lekar आओगे तो लाठी खाओगे. So that type of poster creates you can say the violence among the people. So we have to tackle this situation very wisely as well as friendly. And moreover, I just want to conclude this panel discussion by saying that with the collaborative projects of the government as well as of the public, definitely we can find out the solution of this crisis. So I just want to conclude by saying be mind that stay at home and stay safe.